Greetings, listener. Please enjoy the unintelligible ramblings of your favorite dynamic trio, Farah and Westy, as they record an unapologetically filler episode. Welcome to the Unintelligibles.
Three, 2, 1.
Ow. I hit my microphone. I hurt my hand. Anyways, Arva isn't here.
Yeah, Arva's not here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Unintelligibles podcast. My name is Westy, and today I am joined by Farah and this can of Arva over here that AFK has been waiting to pull out for quite a while. She was very hyped about it.
Yay.
I'm going to assume he's sleeping.
He's in a can.
He's in a can. He's sleeping in the can. That's where Arva sleeps at night. And
yeah. I was like, can we record this episode a bit early? I have to leave early today. And Arva was like, I'll try. Yeah, he's asleep right now.
it's weird how accurate that actually was.
That's the sound he makes. He goes, when he's asleep. That's the sound I make too.
Yeah, same. It's like 11 a.m. for him. So, for those of you keeping track...
So, bedtime, 11 a.m. Okay.
Well, no, you just sleep in a little bit. Depends on how late you stay up.
I mean, I think he gets up at 5 p.m. his time.
A respectable time. Truly. Anyway, those of you keeping track at home, it's technically Arva's turn to host. But, since he's in this sealed can over here, and we don't have a can opener, we're just going to go ahead and do a little discussion, talk about random things, be a little bit of a shorter episode, be a little easier on AFK for editing.
This is like the beach episode in anime where it's just all filler. There's no plot development that's going to happen today.
I don't know, man. I got some pretty interesting stories.
Okay.
It's been worrisome. It's been quite worrisome in some of these areas. So,
Good luck.
I don't know what. Farrah, how's it been going with you?
Not a lot. Well, actually, I bought a new vehicle, so that's pretty epic.
Were you stuck at a dealership all day?
I was. That's why we didn't record last week. So basically last week, pretty much every day after work except for Tuesday, I think, we went to dealerships to try to find a vehicle because the lore, which I think I've talked about before, because I would have purchased my other vehicle while we were doing this podcast. I only bought it in December. My original vehicle was a 2004 Saturn Vue, and it was literally rusting apart. It was just falling apart, and it wasn't safe to drive anymore. And I commute on the highway, so we were kind of in a rush to buy another vehicle. We ended up getting a 2015 Hyundai Tucson, which I like, but it turned out to be a lemon because it went through oil so fast. It was 3,000 kilometers, and it would need 2 liters of oil added. And I commute quite a bit because I drive 45 minutes to work and then 45 minutes back from work. So that wasn't really feasible for me. I mean, I could just continuously refill this thing with oil every 3 weeks, but I really didn't want to do that. And I also kind of regretted not getting a newer vehicle, but at the time, the market was really bad and dealerships were overcharging a lot because it was the day they would put a vehicle up for sale, it would be sold. It was really hard to find something that was reasonably priced. So I ended up just getting something that was good, and I was like, you know what, this is good enough for me. It still had more features than my last vehicle, like Bluetooth audio, which was lovely. But I ended up talking it through with my dad, and we were like, yeah, kind of sucks to have to continuously fill it with oil, so let's get a different one and we'll just trade this one in, because I know that you get more money if you sell privately, but I really didn't want to have to deal with buying another vehicle and then either paying this one off or doing a lease takeover with somebody else and then selling it privately. I was just like, you know what? I'm so tired of looking. We've been looking for like a month at this point. I had tried many different vehicles and I was like, I'm just over this, and I just want I want a new vehicle, and I'm just gonna trade this old one in, and I don't even care if I lose a few $1,000s on it because I'm just done with this whole thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, what was Saturday morning? It was at 8 a.m. My dad's like, "Let's go to the big city," which is like an hour and a half away. And I was avoiding going there because it adds so much time, first of all, and second of all, when you drive so far, it kind of makes it feel like you have to buy a vehicle because you went so far just to go look at a vehicle. My dad was like, "No, no, no, it's not like that. We don't have to." And I'm like, "Okay, well, that's how I feel. So we're probably going to buy a vehicle today." And so in the end, I ended up getting the same type of vehicle. I got another Hyundai Tucson because it wasn't like, it's not like Hyundai Tucsons are all like that. It's just I got a lemon. And I don't blame the dealership that sold it to me because I know dealerships don't really drive the vehicles a lot. They drive them for a little bit to test out how they drive and see if there's any concerning issues, but unless they had driven it 3,000 kilometers, which they definitely did not, they would not have known that it was burning oil so fast. And it wasn't a leak or anything. So they basically would not have known unless they had driven it for so long. So I don't blame the dealership. I absolutely did not tell the dealership that we sold the vehicle to that that issue because I was like, that's the fucking dealership's problem. Okay, it's gonna like depreciate the value of this car even more than it already has. Like, I already overpaid for it, and now I'm gonna get less money for it, so they don't get to know. They can fucking figure it out on their own.
Yeah.
And so one of my mom's friends has a 2019 Hyundai Tucson, and she said she goes a full 10,000 kilometers and doesn't have an issue. So I was like, okay, you know what? I tried all these vehicles. I tried I tried Volkswagens, I tried Nissans, I tried Fords, I tried all different types of vehicles. And I was like, you know what? Instead of getting a different vehicle, I'm just gonna get the exact same one but newer because I already know I'm comfortable in that vehicle and I like it. So why am I looking at all these other vehicles? So I got a 2019 Hyundai Tucson. It's black instead of white, which I prefer. I know some people don't like black because it gets dirtier easier, but I like black. I think it looks sleeker. And it has way more features than my 2015 because my 2015 was just like a very base model. So this one has like a backup camera and Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and it has a heated steering wheel. The back seats are heated, which I didn't even know until yesterday. My dad was in the back seat and he was like, "Hey, these are heated seats." And I was like, "What? That's weird." Which the only thing that it doesn't have, and I was surprised because it's so new and also it has all of these extra applications, it doesn't have a trunk open button. And it's a manual close trunk. It's not like a button that you press and it closes. And you
Okay, it's a
can't open
regular
it from the
trunk.
inside of the vehicle. You have to like actually go out and open it, which I'm fine with. I was just surprised because it had like Apple CarPlay and backseat heated seats. I was surprised it didn't have a fucking trunk button inside.
I mean, not
But
all of them do. It really depends.
yeah, but with all of those features, I feel like that's one of the features that they would have also put in.
Eh.
But I mean, like, my mom has a 2016 and she has a button to open her trunk. And this is a 2019. And it's I can't remember what the trim or whatever the fuck it's called is. It's like it's a higher than what I had before. It's not a base model. which is why it has all the extra stuff. But I don't really care about the trunk thing anyways. I barely ever use my trunk unless I'm going camping or something, so I really don't care. The only other thing is that it doesn't have leather seats. I don't know, Hyundai just doesn't do leather seats. It's like all fabric, which is fine. I just found that when I had my Saturn, leather seats are so much easier to clean. But it's not like a make or break kind of thing. It was something that I wanted to have, but I'm not like too tore up about it.
Like, I
As
always
long as
hated
people
leather
aren't
seats.
making.
They
I
get
like
too
leather seats
hot.
because they're so easy to clean. I know they get so hot, and I definitely burned my thighs multiple times in my Saturn. But they're just so easy to clean, and I've definitely had my dogs pee in my car before, and cleaning up dog pee on leather seats as opposed to fabric seats is like so much easier. And I swear to God, if my in my 2015, if my dogs were in my vehicle, I would put down like a blanket always because I was so afraid of them peeing on the seat, and that I feel like I would never be able to get the pee smell out. It would just be there forever. But
Yeah.
yeah. Overall, I'm happy. That was on Saturday, so I've driven it for a week now because this is Saturday next week, and I like it. It drives pretty much the same as my last one. It's a little bit smoother because it's newer. It's actually a little bit bigger. I guess they made the Tucson's a little bit bigger over the years, which I don't mind. I just didn't want a huge one. Like, I was looking at a Volkswagen Tiguan. I think it was a 2020 or 2021, and it was so nice. It was like the nicest vehicle I've ever been in my whole life. Had a moonroof. It was
Damn.
so nice, but it was so long. It was like the same length as my mom's Mitsubishi Outlander, and I was like, man, this is a really nice vehicle, but I do not need this much space in a vehicle. I'm never going to use it, and I'm also definitely going to back up into things even with a backup camera. So, yeah, I'm happy with my decision. We'll see if it uses oil up as fast as my last one. It shouldn't. I did get insurance, which I know insurance is like a waste of money. Or not insurance,
I'll say
warranty.
insurance is not a waste of money. Hold the fuck up.
You have to get insurance in Canada. You can't drive a vehicle without it.
Same in America, but that doesn't stop people.
I got warranty on like the drivetrain, so like the engine and all of that stuff for 3 years, just because I had that experience with the last Hyundai Tucson, and so I didn't want to take any chances with this one, because the manufacturer's warranty had already expired. So it ended up being like 10 extra bucks a month, which I was like, you know what, that's fine. And now if it does go through oil super fucking fast, I'm taking it right back and being like, bitch, I paid for the warranty, fix this shit, because basically the only solution to that problem is to replace the entire engine, which is literally thousands of dollars.
Yeah, engine repair, replacement, any of that just sucks ass.
So hopefully it doesn't do that, but it should be covered if it does, which is the only reason why I got warranty, because I never ever do warranty on vehicles. They're a waste of time. But in this case, because I had that experience with the last one that I owned and it's the same make and model, I was like, well, better be safe than sorry. And if I never ended up using it, then whatever. It's not so much money that I'm like, if they were like, yeah, it's gonna be an extra 30 bucks a month, then I'd be like, fuck that.
Yeah. Well, damn, sounds like you had a fun time at the dealership.
Yeah, it was so long. I know it takes a long time to buy a vehicle, but it's just so long. Like, first of all, when we got there, he was with other people, even though we told him that we were coming. And I get it. It's his job. He probably makes deals off commission. But we had to sit and wait for 40 minutes while he was with these other people. And I was like, bruh, I don't think I'm making it to the recording today.
No.
Because my dad and I both wanted to be home by 2. And it was so funny. They had like these little bags of chips and like cans of pop out. And we were like, "Oh, are these for customers?" And they were like, "Yeah, we have a special promotion going on this weekend." And I was like, "What? A special promotion? You guys have miniature bags of chips and pops for people who buy vehicles. Is that really a promotion? That's pretty fucking weak, bro."
That sounds like
Most
something you find in America.
most promotions are like, "Yeah, save $1,000 on a new vehicle or something," not like have a bag of chips when you buy a vehicle.
Yeah, that is pretty sad.
But yeah, they also so my last vehicle I co-signed with my dad because my premium, my interest was lower if my dad co-signed, because even though I have good credit, he has like excellent credit. So it lowered the interest rate by like 3%. And that was with some bank, National Bank of Canada or some shit, I don't know. It was annoying because you can't pay the loan off. Like if I wanted to pay a lump sum, I'd have to call them. There's no like connecting it to my bank account as a payee or going on their website. You have to call, which is stupid. And so they were like, "Do you want to go with the same bank this time?" And I was like, "I don't care." And so they ended up going with my bank, which is very convenient because it's literally my bank. So it's super easy if I end up paying this car off early, which I fully plan to pay it in a lump sum because it's literally my bank that I bank with. And they were like, "Oh, we can actually get you a lower interest rate than what you have currently with just you and not your dad co-signing. So you get all the credit for it." Which was really, really exciting because I am trying to build my credit because I do want to buy a house in the next year or two. But I didn't know that they needed the last two pay stubs from your job. I mean, I wasn't expecting them to only use me as the payee instead of me and my dad. So they were like, "Yeah, we just need your most recent two pay stubs." And I was like, so funny thing, I can't access my pay stubs unless I'm connected to my work VPN. Because I work for a high security job and I literally can't access anything from work unless I'm connected to their VPN. And I can't connect to their VPN because one, I don't have my work laptop, and two, I'm not fucking home right now. So I was like, how much do you need those pay stubs? Because I can't get them. They don't send them in paper form anymore. They don't email them to me. They don't do anything. I have to access them on the special website, and I literally cannot access it unless I connect to their VPN on a work laptop. And we're an hour and a half away from home. And they were like, "Oh."
Yeah, so generally it's pretty important.
So they were like, "Well, let us see if we can waive it." And I was like, "Well, fuck." And I was calling my mom and I was like, "Could you, if I walked you through accessing the website on my work laptop because it was at home, would you be able to do that?" And she was like, "Probably not." And I was like, "I don't even remember how to get there off the top of my head, so I don't know if that's gonna work." And my last physical paper pay stub was from January because that's when they went paperless. And I was like, "Will this work?" And they were like, "No, because then the bank's gonna think that you quit your job in January, and that's why you're giving them like a old pay stub."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, fuck." And then, but they were like, this was before I knew that they were going with my bank. We sat and waited for like half an hour, and then they came out and they were like, "Hey, it looks good. We're going with your bank, and because it's your bank, they can access your bank account and see that you are regularly getting paid and how much you're getting paid bi-weekly. So they actually don't need your pay stub." And I was like, "Thank fuck." Because I would have had to go all the way home and come all the way back, basically. And so thankfully it worked out. I think we were there for 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we were there for 6 hours.
You were there long enough for me to wake up, be ready for the recording, and then go to work. And I see the message, "I'm still here," and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was a very long process. And I was very tired and grouchy at the end of it because I was supposed to go out with friends after. and I ended up being an hour late to that too because of this. But thankfully Frisia was very understanding because actually she was like, I kind of just wanted to be by myself for a little while, so it worked out.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was my adventure buying a vehicle. So my new vehicle, you know how you can get like the rubber mats and then the fabric mats for like where your feet go?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who in their right mind would ever pick fabric.
No,
Because
that is fucking awful.
why?
They just
Why
stain.
they stink, and they're really hard to clean, and they take forever to dry. And this vehicle has the fabric ones, and I was like, well, I'll just buy rubber ones, whatever. I can't just buy them though at like Canadian Tire like I usually do because they're all weird and specific to this vehicle, so I have to buy them off Amazon. But what I did do is while they weren't looking, I took my rubber ones from my back seat and put them in this vehicle. So the vehicle that I gave them has no mats in the back seat. And I was like, you know what? Dealerships are scummy, so I don't feel bad. We
Yeah.
also tried to negotiate the price on a trade-in because they gave us $11,000, and we were like, "Can you give us 12?" And they were like, "No, but we can give you donut."
Oh my god.
And I was like, "What?" And they were like, "We have really good donuts here." And my dad was like, "Okay, 11,500." And they were like, "Fine. Do you still want the donut?" And my dad was like, "Okay." And I was like, "Really, Dad? You're gonna take a donut from them?"
Hey, you know what? If it's free, worst case scenario, you just do a quick check with it.
Yeah, it was like they bought it from a bakery, and they actually looked very good. And
Oh my
there
god, I
was
thought you meant like an actual car donut, like a extra spare tire, not a
no,
fucking...
like the food donut.
Oh my god,
Like
what
they
the
offered
fuck?
us a food donut
Okay.
instead of the extra $1,000 by the
What
trade-in.
the fuck? Okay,
He was like,
that's my misunderstanding. I thought you meant like when they call it a donut, like the spare
yes,
tire.
I
I
know
thought
what
they
you're
were
talking
offering you a
about.
spare one of those. I was like, I mean, I would have taken that. Fuck it.
The car came with one, so I didn't really need another one. But yeah, no, they were like, we have donuts in the back and pizza. And my dad was like, I'll take a donut. I'm like, really, Dad? And I was like, isn't that for your staff? And he's like, we have extra. And he brought them out. There's like 4 or 5 there, and most of them were cream-filled ones. And my dad was like, which one do you want? And I was like, I don't really want one. Like, we can just share one. And of course, this motherfucker picked the sprinkle covered one. And the moment he bit into it, sprinkles went everywhere. And I was like, why did you pick the messiest fucking donut in the box? There was like a lemon meringue one. That's your favorite. He was like, I thought it was mustard. What do you mean? They're not gonna put mustard on a donut.
I thought it was mustard. What the fuck?
He's not very smart. So he made the biggest sprinkle mess ever. He was trying to get over the garbage. It got everywhere. I had to go get paper towel to clean up all these fucking sprinkles in the dealership. I was like, I can't believe I brought you with me.
Oh god.
But yeah.
That's pretty
That's
great.
probably the only interesting thing that has happened to me over the last week. So that's my car buying escapade story. And the reason why there was no episode last week.
I mean, we did swap to every other week.
Yeah. Except I think did AFK end up making like a little mini episode?
I don't think she did.
I don't think she did. So I think we're still behind.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. So, there was 2, guys, probably even more. There's some interesting things that happened to me. Because, so first off, we went ghost hunting yesterday, which...
I saw that.
Nothing... It's one of those, I so desperately want something like a ghost event, whatever, to happen to me. Like,
It never does when you want it to. Though.
I know!
It's like when you're looking for a sheep in Minecraft and you find every other animal.
It's... I know... And I just really want it to be like, oh my god, yeah, this weird, creepy thing happened to me. But it never fucking does. And I can say the name. Went to a Sally house. Sallie. Which is like...
I feel like those ones are usually like scammy too.
I mean, this one was actually hang on. Let me see if it has the pictures that I'm looking for.
In Kansas?
Yeah, okay. Here. I think you saw... Oop. Looking at my phone. I had an alarm about to go off for podcast. I think you saw the first picture.
With the dolls?
Yeah.
Yes, I did see that picture.
So if you Google Sally House and then do
Yeah, I got it.
the images, and you kind of look through, you can see the room we're in because there's still a circle of dolls, and there's so many more toys. I guess people bring them toys, and that bedroom is like full of toys because it's like a little demon child. And
I like the clickbait thumbnails that pop up.
yeah, there's a lot of those too.
They did a yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure they did a BuzzFeed Unsolved on this, and they did. I watched that episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna upload this picture. This painting or picture was like in the kitchen. That's supposed to be of the demon child.
The fuck? Why does she look like that?
Right? And I swear I was walking around the house the whole time, just like, Sally, come get my sweet supple butthole, and nothing happened. I did that the whole time. I like laid down on the living room floor because like, oh, if you do that, they'll scratch you. I laid down for probably an hour of like, I'm so vulnerable. Nothing.
How much was it?
We went with a group and we paid about $100 each. And we get like the whole night alone.
Oh, you stayed overnight?
Well, we were staying overnight. We had to leave early, but
oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, they let you sleep over like overnight all by yourself in this house, with like the only restrictions being don't go in the basement.
Why?
The sign on the door said opening the basement door causes a breeze that blows out the pilot light. But the basement's like the interesting thing because there's like a bloody pentagram down there that like somebody tried to use to summon demons and like do all this creepy shit. And I'm like, I want to go down there, man. That's where the cool shit's at.
I feel like that's where the ghosts would be.
Right? But well, there's apparently a few ghosts. There's multiple. So that's like where the demon one is. But like, you can't go down there. You can go everywhere else in the house. And there was a point where I like went upstairs because we had one of those spirit box things going off, and it kept saying like mirror, bathroom, reflection, look at me. And I was like, oh, the mirror upstairs. Okay, so I went upstairs into the bathroom. I was like, I'm looking in the mirror. I'm looking in the bathtub. I'm shitting in your toilet, and like nothing was happening. I was trying really hard to piss him off. And then at a certain point, I started playing like Slay the Spire on my phone because nothing was happening. And it just kept saying it was like scared of Harry, man. I'm like, oh, it's scared of me. Funny. But there was a point when I was upstairs, I was like in that creepy doll bedroom. I was like walking around, just walking around carefully because the floor is literally littered with toys. They're just everywhere. It's like an actual like 3-year-old's bedroom. There's just toys everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I hear like screaming from downstairs. I'm like, oh, motherfucker. So I ran downstairs and they're like, because we had the little cat balls that like light up when you touch them.
Yeah.
And they're like, that one just flew down the stairs and smashed into the wall. And I like looked over and there's a cat ball against the wall. I'm like, no, it didn't. Like it just like, it didn't hit any of the other steps. It just hit the wall. And it was like all lit up and everyone was still across the room. And like the door of that bedroom is literally at the top of the stairs. So I rounded the corner. There was no one there to do that. And the cat ball was upstairs with me. I'll give them that. And
You calling them liars?
Do what?
You calling them liars?
I wanted to see it. It's hard for me to believe something like that happened.
Okay, so you're salty about it because you didn't see it happen.
Yes, because that was cool as shit. Like
that was like the evidence you were waiting for, and you fucking missed it.
Yeah, but I was upstairs with it, and we left the cat ball kind of at the top of the stairs, off to the sides. No one tripped on. The stairs suck because there's all these stories of, like people getting pushed down the stairs. The stairs are uneven. Each step is like a different length, like height than the next one, and it's like, yeah, that's why people are fucking falling down these stairs. God damn. The top step is like a full, I want to say, 5 inches taller than the step just before it.
Yeah.
You gotta climb that bitch. But yeah, I was up there and all screaming. It's like, all right, the cat ball's downstairs. There's no way one of you could have run up these stairs, taken that down there without me noticing in like 2 seconds. None of you are that athletic. And
that sucks. I think it did it on purpose because it doesn't like you.
probably. And it kept doing like the little spirit box. It kept trying to get one of our friends because it was like, you know, whenever she would ask a question, it'd be like, come to the basement over and over. And I'm like, I want to so bad. You don't know how bad I want to. I will go into the basement in the dark alone. Please. I have no fear of you. But it was like a weird thing. Like as the night goes on, me and my brother-in-law were just kind of sitting in the opposite corners of the room, just chilling and, you know, waiting. It was around 2 a.m. All the women started getting freaked out. Like the spirit box called Adrian by her real name. And then it said like baby mine on the spirit box.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't like that. And then they swear they were hearing 2 people talking from the vents. I didn't hear it. And they started getting really panicked. And I got like videos of, because we had the little camera that does, you know, the thing where you hold the camera up, it does a little stick figure that just does little dances.
Yes.
We had one of those, and I just like held it up. Like, there's something like over there. I look over, there's like a dude fucking twerking on the table. I'm like, hey, look at him go! Look at him! And then they like ran at me and disappeared. And I was like, yo! I don't know if that was real or not, or like a shadow or what, but what the fuck? That was hilarious. He was working it. But they got all freaked out, and then they had to like leave the house because they were having panic attacks. So my brother-in-law and I were like, all right, we'll go. You know, you're all freaked out. It's over an hour drive home. So we went back inside and started gathering up the stuff. And the whole time we were in there, we're like, we're leaving. This is your last chance. You better get me. I'm all alone in the kitchen next to the bathroom door. Oh, no. Nothing. Every time, man. I want a ghost to come out and slap my ass so bad. Like, you don't even know how bad I want that.
Yeah. I think, what was it that, I'm not saying this is real, but I think, what was it that, because I love watching, the Ghosty Boys, so it's like Shane and,
Oh, Adrian loves
uh,
those. Shane and Ryan.
and Ryan, yeah. Which, they did some, like, shitty thing with their channel where they were gonna make it paid only, so I stopped watching them. Even though they went back
Watcher.
on it. Yeah, Watcher, yeah. And then I was like, man, fuck you guys, so
Actually, I will say it wasn't them. It was there's like a little dude who does the drinks during their drinking episodes. He always mixes
Yeah,
drinks.
that fucking guy who's super rich, by the way.
Yeah, he's like their producer, and he was gonna do that, and they actually were not on board with that, so they stopped. But Adrian's subscribed to them on Patreon, so she gets all the episodes anyway. So.
Oh yeah, I love their like the best comedic duo. But basically, what was it that I think Ryan was like, all this creepy stuff always happens to him and never to Shane, and he's like, maybe it's because the ghosts can tell that like Shane isn't scared of them, so they don't go after them. And I was like, okay, but also I think it's because Ryan is super paranoid, so he's more likely to notice those things.
Yeah, I will give it this. Adrian is not paranoid. Like, her fight or flight is always fight. This is one of the first times I've ever seen her be like, I gotta go. So I'm like, oh, that's creepy. I've never seen you run from anything. I'll give that, but like, I didn't hear any voices. I didn't experience the fucking cat ball, which even my brother-in-law saw the cat ball, and he's the same boat as me of like, no, I need to see some shit. And he's like, that was pretty legit.
You're literally the only one who didn't get to see it.
I know. And the reason why is I went upstairs because it kept saying, like, look in the mirror, look at your reflection, go there. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go look in the mirror, trying to taunt it. And it just, nothing. Like, I stared in the mirror, I did like a little Bloody Mary, nothing happened. There was like one room where the lights didn't turn on at all. I went in there in the dark. That was a creepy room because it was like the bed was weird and it had an angle. And if you look to the right when you walk in the room, there's like cabinets, but immediately under there's like empty storage space down there where like somebody could easily crawl in and fit.
Oh, I
It,
don't like that.
yeah, and I may have a video of it. I'm just see if I can get a quick like screenshot of it. But yeah, that was kind of yesterday. Okay, yeah, I do have the video of me. So get that screenshot, and I gotta wait and see when I like turn and look. There we go. So this was like what the bedroom looked like. I'm just taking screenshots on my phone because we had the video. And then when you immediately look to the right, there was like that.
Yeah, dude. Oh, no. I hate that. I hate that. Like, somebody's under there, bro.
I was in that room. I even like turned and looked under there. I was like, are you in there? No, nothing. So I didn't get to experience anything super ghostly. I'm a little upset I missed the cat ball. But also to like maybe that happened because you were upstairs, because you were upstairs with it, and it was just said like fuck it and run kind of thing. Because it kept saying it was afraid of me, and I was like, that's a new level of funny.
Just so intimidating.
I mean, yeah, again, it's like, what's it gonna do? What does a ghost do in any movie to a grown adult? Practically nothing. It goes for kids.
Real.
So I have no fear. It goes for children and women. The grown adult always gets killed by the possessed one, never the actual ghost.
I should go, and then it would think that I was a child, so we would get more interactions.
There you
That
go.
was what the issue. You didn't bring a kid with you.
Technically, we did.
Oh.
Technically.
Oh no, pregnant doesn't count.
Well, the whole story is like, because the whole thing is like the spirit ever hates men and always attacks men. It scratches men, and the whole time I was sitting there like, I'm all alone and exposed. Don't scratch me. And nothing happened. I'm like, well, fuck you too, and just like sauntered back downstairs. Stairs sucked ass. I hated going up and down those stairs. It hurt my knees so bad because each step is just a different height. It's like, yo, why'd they install witch stairs on this? It's keeping me out. What the fuck? But that was that. Not, I mean, it was fun. I enjoyed it, except for like around a few hours after we got there, we went to get food, and it was the worst fucking like meal I've had in so long. It was like a little heavily quoted Italian. Let's just say like my finger quotes right now are causing hurricanes. Like Italian. Because the pasta was so chewy and bland. The sauce was jarred. I got whatchamacallit, the chicken parmesan. The sauce was just from a jar. The chicken was so tasteless, unseasoned chicken.
Yum.
The fucking garlic toast was a slice of bread that was buttered with a slice of cheese on top and then microwaved. And I was just like, this is so fucking gross. I had to just like shut my brain down and eat because like, well, I need food. I can't like go the night without eating. And everyone got, like chicken Alfredo or rigatoni, and they're all like, this is the nastiest fucking thing we've ever eaten.
Nice. White people. Italian.
Oh, it was definitely heavily Americanized microwave Italian food.
Love that.
It was so fun. I hate it. Fucking hate that place. Anyway, that was our little ghost hunting adventure. I do have a story from work that it didn't happen to me, but it was one of the most disturbing stories I think I've heard from people interacting with other people there. So, we have some very crackhead workers there. Like very crackhead activities.
I've noticed from the stories you've told.
Don't worry, we are officially working for the government, and they are the most like, oh my god, people. So, how to describe? I'm trying not to say names here. So this one employee who's like an older woman, but a very, very cracked out older woman, like she unpromptly will turn to you and be like, I get free rent because I blow my landlord. And you won't even have said a word to her ever. And that's her first conversation with you. And she has like a hole, like when she smiles, there's a hole in the middle of her like front 4 teeth. She goes, I stick it through here. And I'm like, oh no!
That's so gross.
She'll just say that. Like that is her greeting to you. And it's not even a way of like, you know, being weird or funny. She just thinks that's a casual, natural conversation, right? That's just normal for her. And I'm like, oh, okay, I know where you hang out at. Fucking behind the 7th goddamn 11. Anyway. She apparently went to her manager, who is like the opposite manager of my brother-in-law. They like work right next door to each other. And she walked in her office, and I guess first thing she said is, hey, I just shit myself. I thought it was a fart. It was shit. And she turned around and showed her wet. She turned around and showed her wet ass to her manager. She goes, I need to go home.
Okay, well, that's a good way to go home for the day. That was a good way to get over work.
Yeah, and that manager's like, okay, yes, please, go home. Just don't worry about, like, we'll take care of it. Just go home. Get out of here. And I guess it was like an hour later or sometime later, that manager gets up and is going around. You got to hunt for a good bathroom in that building, because if they're not being cleaned, they're pretty fucking dirty and disgusting. So you have to hunt for a good one. She walked into a bathroom, and in, like, the stall, there is shit everywhere. Like, it's on the walls, it's on the toilet, it's on the ceiling. It's everywhere. And she just stopped and went, I don't have to pee that bad, and left. And then when she gets back to her office, there's people waiting for her. This employee that had shit herself apparently went into that bathroom, whipped off her underwear, spun it around to get the shit out of there, then just threw it in the trash can. And then...
What the fuck?
And here's the thing. There was, like, 2 other employees who were, like, in there and, like, used the bathroom, and then, like, were, like, washing their hands. This woman walks out of the bathroom with nothing on from the waist down, sees 2 women...
Like, naked?
Naked from the waist down.
What?
Wearing nothing. Sees 2 women and goes, hey, excuse me, turns around and shows them her ass and goes, did I miss any? And these 2 women just were like, no, just like left and went and had to be like, yo, there was this like woman who was naked from the waist down who walked out of the bathroom and like showed us her ass and just asked, did I miss any? And that manager...
I feel like that's a fireable offense.
You'd think so, but no, she's still there.
What the fuck? That would be, like, where I work, you, like, say something that is offensive and you get put on leave for 2 weeks.
Here's the thing. We work for the American government. You can commit murder and probably get away with it. Because... like, that one manager they complained to was the manager who dealt with the woman who shat herself. She's like... I know exactly who that is. If they said what bathroom it was, she goes, I know exactly what happened. Okay, she'll take care of it, kind of thing. And the DM had to have a conversation with this crackhead and be like, all right, everyone has different levels of comfort. What's okay for you might not be okay for everyone else. We can't walk out of bathrooms naked asking if we got all the shit off our ass. And this old woman flew into a fit about that. But then also started getting mad because she's being suspended for like a month. Because, not for this.
Wait.
It's for last year, she slapped an old woman across the head so hard she gave her a concussion at work.
What?
Like an 80-year-old woman, she like fucking bitch slapped so hard she gave her a concussion, and she's being suspended for like a week or a month or something for that. And she's like, I'm being suspended because I'm white. And then the manager's like, no, you're being suspended because you slapped this 80-year-old woman so hard you gave her a concussion last year. And she goes, well, I don't know why no one will let me just apologize, because she doesn't want you near her. She wants you to stay away. She goes, well, that's just not fair.
What the fuck, dude? What? Where? Your workplace is wild.
Isn't it? Isn't it? And you think it's like, oh, I work for the federal government. Like, not even as a joke. It's like legitimately the federal government in a federal building where you have to have badges to get in places, and there's certain doors. If you don't have clearance, nothing will let you in, and you will be like arrested by armed guards who wander the building. And then we have stories like that.
Huh.
And it's just like, really? Really? That shit fucking killed me, though, when I heard that, because I was laughing so goddamn hard. Because I guess that same manager that night, after she like found that bathroom, went to Adrian's desk, who's like the assistant to the DM. She does all the file work for her and schedules everything.
Yeah.
And she just looked in the candy bowl wordlessly, pulled out an airhead, made eye contact, and went, "I cannot look at chocolate anymore," and turned and left. And that was it. That was her whole like interaction. She was just sitting there, just like one eyebrow raised, kind of doing that look around, like And we had to get the story later about what happened, and we were just all
Bro.
fucking dying laughing.
I feel like I'm glad you get paid well, Westy.
Yeah, I could be paid more, but you know, I'm at the top.
Yeah.
I'm at the end of the ladder on my current position, so I can't get paid anymore. I have to get to a better position for that. But yeah, that was the ghost
Then
hunting.
you can be
with
the
me.
one that deals with shit ass.
No, not that position. No. Going somewhere else. Gotta get the fuck out of that building. Find a nice work from home. But that was the work
Yeah,
story. That was an old crackhead shitting herself, showing her manager, and then walking out of the bathroom naked from the waist down to show people her ass and ask, "Did I get it all? Or did I miss any?" It was one of those, and I'm just like, ugh. You really never know what's about to happen at that workplace.
Yeah. I don't envy you.
Yeah, it's not hard work. I just sit and listen to books all night mostly, but goddamn, every now and then something happens, and you just kind of have to sit back and think, this is an adult. This is not only an adult, but this is an adult that works for the government, that is responsible for like everybody else's money. And then you shiver a little.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me though.
Uh-huh. Doesn't surprise you at all.
Ugh. Bless me.
That was
In
a
America? No.
tiny
I feel
sneeze.
like most of the stuff I hear about America, I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, but everyone thinks like, oh man, you can't work with you have to be like smart, you have to be like this or this. I'm like, no,
I
no, you
mean,
fucking do not for the government.
I think it depends where in the government you work for. But don't they like keep leaking military secret on that like one video game?
Yeah, on Arma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe you don't need to be smart to work for the government.
You do not. Not at all. But that's more or less all I got, which were some stories, all right.
Those were good stories. That was almost the length of an entire episode.
It was. I don't know if they're good stories. Like the ghost hunting, nothing really happened to me, but other people got freaked out, and they were like that. The way they described it was a feeling of like about to be attacked. Like they were not feeling safe. They were having panic attacks, and I was sitting in my chair like, does anyone want to touch me? Come on, guys. What the fuck? Where are these lazy ass ghosts?
Try harder.
I'm trying as hard as I fucking can. I think that's the problem, is I'm trying too hard.
I think it is, yeah. You need to be like, you need to pretend to be scared or something.
It's hard to do though. Because when nothing happens, it's like, well, how do you react when nothing happens? Just, You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a good place
Well-
to call it there.
That was a. You've had an eventful. What was that like? 1 week or 2 week?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. An eventful 2 weeks.
Some interesting things have happened, all right. That's the
Yeah.
only ones worth commenting on. Because, goddamn.
Yeah. I don't know how I would feel about the whole shitty ass thing. I think.
Imagine you were walking to the bathroom, somebody walked out naked and turned and showed you their ass and asked, did I miss any?
I might just go home, I think.
Imagine
Would
sitting
just
next to this
leave.
person and you hear them fart and then just they shit themselves in their
I think
chair.
I would just leave, actually. I think I would just go home.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't get paid enough for this.
Yeah, that's fair.
That was a good chat session.
It was.
And the topic of today's podcast was day in the life of your favorite content creator.
Sure.
That's a and yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, Westy, but I know I'm the favorite, so
We'll let the fans decide that. Anyway,
comment below. Who's your favorite host? Can you do a poll? Can you do polls on
actually, I think I might be able to. As I'm going to figure out this poll situation, I'm going to thank you all so much for listening to the podcast. Make sure to follow each of us on our respective social medias. I am Westy HGC across the board. Farah is Farah the Bat, and Arva, who is still in the camp.
No, he doesn't get a shout out because he's not here.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's fair. I'm trying to quickly find public website.
I
Here
know
we
you
go.
can do it on. I think you can do it on Spotify. I don't know about YouTube though.
On Spotify. I just have to find the settings, maybe.
Yeah, because I've seen polls on Spotify before. Make sure to vote in the poll, and then whoever wins will get a really big head about it and rub it in everybody's faces the next episode.
I may have to log into Spotify to do.
Probably.
Son of a bitch. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening. We will be back again in 2 weeks, where we
Arva
should
will be
have.
the host.
Yeah, Arva's the host. Until then, bye.
He might wake up this time.
Oh God, no, he won't. Let's be real.
Probably not. See you in a month. Bye.
Bye.